Welcome to the forecast. To my right, we have AP18. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, everyone.
And to my left, we have Garrett. Garrett, how you doing?
I'm doing swell. Did you say to your left for both of us?
I believe I said to my left.
You said to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, to the right. The right. Sorry, I was doing a little, whatever that song's called.
The Wednesday Comics forecast. You're telling the comics coming out for May 2nd, 2018. That's the first Wednesday in May. Close to Free Comic Day. Tune into this week's show, which I just realized I probably have to put out early if we're going to talk about Free Comic Day. Otherwise, it's going to be a day late. But tune into the show. We'll let you know what free comics are coming out. But this is telling you the comics are coming out on Wednesday that you can purchase with your dollars and put in your collection. Like as Alex says, right, Alex? Collect them.
You know what? Collect them. Don't read them.
Up first, we have Image Comics. We have Black Science, number 35. This is Rick Remender and Mateo Scalera. Later Than You Think, Part 1. Trying to come to terms with her husband's legacy, Sarah McKay wanders through the countless realities looking for answers to one question. What are the choices that defined her? And can she help right the infinite wrongs her husband set in motion? A new chapter in Black Science begins here. By the way, a new chapter, Alex, isn't this ending?
I thought so. I thought it was supposed to be like 43 issues long, but...
So a new chapter, but it will be ending. So it's like the final, almost one of the final chapters. I remember them saying that it was only going to like 40.
Who knows? Maybe this issue hasn't came out in 3 or 4 months, so it could be another 3 years before this book is done. That sure, this is the beginning of a new chapter.
Are you excited for Black Science 35?
I want to say that I am, but I really am not. Like, I'm going to get it. I loved this series, but much like I just said, this book hasn't come out frequently enough, monthly enough. It's been almost at least 3 months since the last one came out that, one, I barely remember what it was about. And two, this book has kind of lost its magic. Those first like 3 arcs up to like issue 20 were spot on amazing. And now I'm getting this last couple arcs of just like, oh, it's good, but it's not enough to really keep me going, wow, number 1 contender.
I always thought it was great too, leading up to Godworld, which I think is the best arc of this book. And then after that, it was just like, okay. Which, I mean, it's not bad. There's worse books out there. And it's just, but it changed what it was in some way. I'm not sure because it like kind of settled down. And instead of jumping dimensions, we had more of a story about trying to find the end game. And I just think that I wasn't interested in that. I was more interested in like the adventure of it. And
if I may, sorry, not to cut you off, if I may, before I forget, the change of it is that when Grant loses his power for his daughter to the evil witch, he stops being that scientific kind of jackass guy going, I know the answers to everything. The story kind of changed, and it's just I fell in love with Black Science with all this weird ass crap with the pillars and jumping from dimension to dimension that now we're just kind of, we're in the end game of we got to wrap it up, and what other way to do it than to downgrade what the story was.
Yeah, so we'll see how it ends. Hopefully it ends good. But speaking of new stuff, how we like stuff at the beginning, Rick Remender and Bengal have a new book called Death or Glory, number 1. Here's the premise. Meet Glory, raised off the grid in a convoy amid truckers, the last men and women fighting for the true freedom of the American open road. Now, in order to pay for her beloved dying father's surgery, Glory has 3 days to pull off 4 dangerous cross-country heists with mob killers, crook cops, and a psycho ex-husband, all out to bring her in or die trying. The new ongoing series from New York bestseller author Rick Remender and legendary French superstar Bengal bring you the high-speed chase across the American West that examines our dwindling freedoms and the price paid by those who fight for an untethered life in the special double issue, first issue with 40 pages of story. How much is this book? It is $4.99, so it's a little bit more.
Double size, though.
What do you think, Gary? Are you getting this book?
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I really love Bengal's art. In an Image Plus a couple months back, I saw the preview for this, and I was like, damn, this looks good. Rick Remender can be hit or miss. I mean, hit, Tokyo Ghost, miss, 7 to Eternity. I know it's coming back soon. Who cares?
Wait.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you talking out of your ass, or are you actually saying that you know it's coming back?
No, it's coming back.
No, it is coming back. Issue 10 is
Okay.
coming soon. It's like
Well, it's
either
been a long
May or
time.
June.
I've been waiting for it, and where the hell is it?
Peña's doing the art. But on this book, anyways, like the premise of it really does entice me. I think it's kind of cool. I haven't really read. I mean, I guess I've read a Speed Racer comic once or twice, but I mean, this would be cool to get a cool racing book with cool cars, and like this artist is incredible, very detailed.
This book does look good. I like to do the premise. I like the premise, but I guess it goes back to even what we were saying about Kirkman a couple of weeks ago when he had Oblivion song coming out. Rick Remender, we know, is working on 2 TV shows. He said so himself in the back of the letter pages, and he's super tired. He said, and so now he's starting a new series. So like it excites me because I like him, but I feel like I like Rick Remender that's all into comics. Not the Rick Remender that's pulled 15 different ways and is doing comics on the side.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, I know, like you said, Bengal's art looks great. Rick Remender, we know, can be great. But what kind of Rick Remender are we getting? We get Rick Remender that's working on his 2 TV shows and he's working on this on the side? Or did he sit down and take some time and write this out and he's actually, like how he used to do, he's ahead on this thing and it's going to come out on a regular schedule? Because once again, all his books, Black Science, I believe, we wouldn't be so critical if it came out on time. Deadly Class wouldn't be so critical if it came out on time. It's just those delays. It ruins the flow of the story and it ruins your story. So we'll see. I am excited for this just because it's a new #1, and at least I know Rick can write a good first issue. So
I've got 3 things to say. 1, Garrett, the song you were singing before was Cupid Shuffle.
I was going to say it, but it didn't come at a funny point. I was like, Cupid Shuffle, but Marvin was still talking, so I couldn't come back.
2, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this book just for the fact it is Rick Remender. I agree 100% with you, Marvin, that if he was fully into comics, his books would be amazing and they'd come out on time. But I'm apprehensive when I'm told that Glory has 3 days to do this. So I don't know how you can get a ongoing book, and maybe once you get past her saving her father, maybe that moves on to other stuff. But with the deadline of 3 days for this book, or this character, it makes me wonder how long this book really can run.
East to West, number 37. This is Jonathan Hickman and Nick Gigrato. Alignment of the Stars. One bad choice leads to another and another. Speaking of a book, this book has come out for a couple months, Alex?
Correct.
Well, I would think this actually. There's something about Hickman. I'm not sure. He's not full into this because he's not doing anything else right now. It's just that he's notoriously slow. So I think that this area issue, I'm always like, oh come on, this isn't out for a while, and I read it and go, okay, well, it's still doing good work. I do enjoy the issues, so I'm looking forward to this. What do you think, Alex?
I'm excited for this book, but it's kind of the same boat. It used to come out almost monthly, and then you knew it was going to take a hiatus. It does get kind of old for me, waiting almost 3 months for every issue to come out. Yes, I kind of remember what's going on, but I'm still excited for this book. I still think the design for the covers are always amazing, and once I get back into that world, I'm drawn into it. It's just that apprehensive going, oh, well, where did we leave off last?
Sex Criminals number 24. This is Matt Fraction. Chip Zdarsky, 5-figure discount part 4. Alex, how's this book been?
I am 1 issue behind. I 100% promise you I meant to read things today. My daughter was giving me kind of a hard time, so I hadn't gotten to it. But I am caught up on Power Rangers, so be excited for that, everyone.
Woo!
Okay, you caught up on Power Rangers. Garrett's excited. Walking Dead number 179. This is Robert Kirkman and Charlie Allred. New World Order part 5 of 6, The Journey Home. Garrett, what do you think? Walking Dead. We're almost at the end of this arc. How do you think it's going so far?
I think we've talked about it on a previous forecast. Like, Walking Dead is a great book, but this is part 5 of this New World Order mini. It's not an event, but it is an event. Whatever. Still don't understand why the price got raised to $1 for no reason. And I still don't if this arc's almost over, how come I still don't know what the grave importance of this New World Order is, besides, well, I don't want to spoil things, but, a certain female character is reuniting with somebody. So I'm excited for it, but I just don't know what to expect. But is it going to be the same thing we've had before? I don't know. It's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I think we talked about before, the story structure of this series is getting kind of old. And I agree with you. We're 5 of 6. Nothing much has really happened so far except for that one character moment that you're talking about, that one character reveal.
Right.
And if we get to the end of this and there's just like a plot twist, like there always is at the end of the arcs, and then it goes move on to the next thing, it's just the same, more of the same. And but like Alex was saying a couple weeks ago, he asked us, what's going to take for you guys to drop this book? I'm not sure.
Well, right before this, though, it was amazing.
I know, we were praising
Princess into the book and like whatever, and then it's like he went corporate America on us or something, because it's like, jeez.
Well, I think it's because we were getting the end of the Negan story, and we're getting them like trying to live with Negan. We had a different kind of story. What does it mean to be rehabilitated? What does it mean to forgive somebody? What does it mean to move on after somebody did something horrendous to your family, basically? And so it was a different story. And then now here we get the same story we've gotten before. A group of new people come. Can we trust them? And it's like, dude, it's like the 15th group you've encountered, and you never can trust any of them. At one point,
there's never been one that's, well, okay, maybe besides the Hilltop, and even then you couldn't fully trust them.
And it's not like right now they're at a point where they need people. They could live in their society fine, but it's like they're like, hey, let's go check this out just in case they have something we need, and maybe they'll be good people and they'll help us out. And it's like, no, I like just stay where you're at. I really want this book to, and I understand he's trying to make it look like these people were like explorers or whatever, but settle down, tell me a story. Like that Negan thing is interesting. Everybody in there have some group politics. Have it be about how do we make a society again in the post-apocalyptic world, instead of being like, oh, there's other people who are bad in a post. Yeah, I know already. Well, how many issues?
You know, it's bigger than a 3-community village. We have a whole city now, and then it's going to be like, we're going to have a whole country. It's like, okay, you're running out of space.
We'll see, though. I mean, every once in a while, like you said, there's a good arc. It keeps me on, and then we get an arc where it's like repeat of what happened. So I just wish that, I don't know, it seems like he's out of ideas, and then he surprised me with something new, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And then it's the same thing again, and then I get bored, which made me drop it at one point, and then I got back on because you said it was good. So, and you were right. So
I think it's one of those things. I hear you guys talk about this book, and I like what you guys say about it. I really take to heart, going, okay, oh, it had a really good arc, or it's had a really. You guys both sound almost bummed that this book isn't nearly as good. It makes me wonder, and if our listeners want to chime in and let me know, is this a book that's just trying to follow the TV show? Is Kirkman just kind of phoning stuff in? I guess for me, it's one of those things I'm curious to know. I've always listened to you guys, and it's like, oh, do I want to get into this book?
I think it's what you just said. It's frustrating because these characters, we know they've been through something. You live through these moments with them. You live through them struggling, and when they go against these groups, like they barely survive through it. And then it's frustrating for them all of a sudden to be like, oh, here's another group. Should we trust them? And it's like, no, dude. Just
have you learned anything? No, stay alone. Stay by yourself.
It's like, go back and live in your own group for a while. Let them come to you, and then you can examine them. I don't understand why they haven't learned yet. It's more frustrating from a story standpoint. It's like that Kirkman's like, oh, let me go have them find somebody else, and it's like, can you try something else for once? Like, I just try it and see if it works out. Like, I don't understand. I mean, he has. Like, I told you, that Negan story was going in a good place, and then it's been abandoned for this. And this is the same thing as always. And we're going to get back to it. Obviously, Negan's not going to just go away. But I understand the need to stretch this all out.
Yeah.
Dark Horse Comics, this is Dr. Star and the King of the Lost Tomorrows. Number 3, this is the Eisner Award winning Black Hammer book. Tie. This is a spinoff. We go spinoff or a tie-in. Either one. It's about the same. Jeff Lemire, Max Fumari. Alex, how's Dr. Star been?
Issue 1 was really good.
Garrett, I was issue 2.
Issue 2 is on the bottom. Is literally on the I think the last book.
Wow.
On my stacks. So I'll be caught up on it this week.
Issue 2 was literally like more exciting than issue 1 was, and like the end is such a great cliffhanger that I'm so excited for 3. Like going into that, I think this book's going to be amazing. This issue itself, super excited for it. I don't want to give spoilers away, but it just leaves you on such a cliffhanger that you're like, holy shit, I want to see what happens next. And the book just ends and you're like, damn, like, no, don't stop. So I remember it like the back of my hand. Like, this was such a great story.
Is this the 4-issue like what
Yes.
Sherlock was? Okay, cool.
Garrett, what do you think? The Black Hammer Part 2 is basically coming out right now. Is this still worth it to pick up Dr. Star?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think it really has any. I mean, it does. Obviously, it ties into the universe, but I think it's enough of its own thing that you're not going to like. I don't know. I think they're two separate entities in my mind right now. Like, yes, they're part of the same universe, but they don't really interact with one another story-wise right now.
Which I think is a great choice, though, is to have this side story of just building another character that right now doesn't need to be tied into Black Hammer main storyline, but eventually they should at least cross paths or get referenced to each other, which is always exciting.
You know what this reminds me of a lot is when Mark Miller did Jupiter's Legacy, and he wrote so much of Circle, the past stuff, that they're like, hey, you should make this into a comic book, and he did. It seems to me like Jeff just loves this world that he's created, and so he wants to kind of flesh it out with all these people. And good for him, because all of it's turned out good so far. I think there's 3 more minis announced that he's been like pumping these out. And go ahead, as long as they're going to be this good, and as long as they were as good as Sherlock Frankenstein. So I'm enjoying it. DC Comics' Action Comics Special #1, Dan Jurgens, Max Landis, Mark Russell, Francis Manapul, Jill Thompson. Jill Thompson, by the way, will be at SuperCon. Will Conrad, The Last Will and Testament of Lex Luthor. Garrett, this is that's basically ending Dan Jurgens' run. They're going to give him a chance to say goodbye. Also, there's that Max Landis story that was in the DC Holiday Special that I read that you guys haven't read because it got pulled from the physical copy, but it was in the digital copy. So you'll get that little nugget, and then you'll get an Action Comics, like a finale, basically. Are you looking forward to that?
I am looking forward to everything with the Dan Jurgens Lex Luthor storyline, because I really want to know what's happened to Lex Luthor. Like, they literally did just, since Bendis is coming on, did just kind of drop him like a bad habit, because I haven't seen Lex Luthor besides that little piece of Action Comics 1000. So I want to see, because I feel like they're obviously going to get him back to his being a douche roots instead of trying to be a anti-hero. The part with Max Landis, literally could care less. I'm not interested at all in that. I don't think the price is too horrible that I'm fine with getting it, and hopefully, I don't know what I need to, maybe I could read it digitally or something, or find it online because it's only a couple pages, but I don't know. I don't even care. I'll read it for what it is and just kind of ignore it if it's continuity, but at least for this Action Comics Dan Jurgens stuff, I'm definitely interested. And Manipul's doing some of the art.
He's doing the Max
Landis part. Fuck.
I was saying, when I told you guys today that I was going to put this on our list for the reading, and you told me it wasn't 1001, I was like, oh, then screw that. I don't need to get it. So I'm not going to. I was on my list. I'm not going to get this book.
This is for Garrett. They're saying this is to say to Garrett, hey, we're not going to forget that storyline. Here you go. Here's the end of this, and then we'll move on to Bendis' stuff. By the way, I really like when we talk about stories on here. Sometimes we talk about a bad story, and I talk about that it is bad, and usually I try to say why. That Max Landis story is just boring. It is it looks great. It's Francis Manapul, but it just really is boring. I really don't like it at all. So it looks like they're just trying to find a way to shove it back in here because obviously they paid the 2 already, so they might as well use it. And they probably need to fill out some pages. So throw that in Action Comics special.
Yeah, right. Damn.
Batman #46. This is Tom King, Sandu Flora, and Tony S. Daniel. The Travelers Part 2. Mr. Gold's wedding present has scared up Batman's past and done even more damage to his present. Garrett, I remember you really enjoyed the first part of this.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I'm amped going into this storyline. Part 2, I think, is going to be we're going to get more to that crazy, when you got Green Lantern at the beginning of the last issue. That was nuts. And I think this is this is kind of like an Injustice universe almost, because they could still go to the past and fix all these things that are happening, which is obviously going to happen. But first part was great. Super excited for this. Alex,
I know you read this too. You said you enjoyed it.
I did. I'm I'm actually looking forward to this issue. And this is one, a book I am literally caught up on. And two, I was a little thrown off the first time I read it that we talked about on the show. I was like, you know what? That was actually pretty genius. I haven't read a lot of Ghoster Bloom. Booster Gold.
Picture life.
So I'm actually excited to read this just to get more of a feel of this character.
DC Nation number 0. This is Tom King, Scott Snyder, James Tinian, the fourth, Joshua Williamson, Brian Michael Bendis, Clay Mann, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and Jorge Jimenez. This is the 25-cent story from DC. It's going to be 25 cents for an oversized issue, it looks like. It's going to basically be the kickoff stories for Batman, for Superman, and for Justice League. So if you're looking to jump on, this is actually for that. And it's 25 cents. What a better way than to grab a quarter off the ground and go, hey, let me go buy. Oh, you probably need it's 26 cents. I'm sure that's just tax on this. But go in and you can get a comic book. So see if you are interested in the DC universe with this issue, and I'm sure that's their plan. Alex, what do you think? You excited for this issue?
I'm excited for only spending 25 cents on a comic book. Like right there, sold. It could have nothing to do with anything else. I will get this book just to say I spent 25 cents on a book.
When it's only 25 cents, do you buy 2 copies, one so you can eat and drink with it, and then one that you don't touch?
Of course. One that I can get my smudgy fingerprints all over. The other one, I use my tweezers with gloved hands through safety glass to turn that page.
Well, this is cool, too. It is not only like the start of those arcs, but it is the start of the DC Nation magazine because they're going to start doing that, which is going to probably be more like a preview book. But still, that's kind of cool. That's kind of start of a new DC magazine that will come out free probably from here on out, or maybe it's still 25 cents in the future. Who knows?
$10.
Yeah, right. You got issue 0 now. Yeah.
Pay for it.
Right, $100 or 100% increase.
Deathstroke number 31. This is Christopher Priest, Carlo Pajulan, and Deathstroke versus Batman Part 2. If you read the first one, you saw the cliffhanger at the end where Batman basically was like, "Hey, I got papers here and showing that you're Damien's dad." So they're trying to figure it out. Who's the real dad? And I told these guys, and it's up in the air. Christopher Priest said DC hasn't told me the way what he can do with it. So he said, let DC know what you want, and he'll make sure to tell them. What do you think?
I'll just take my boycott, like me not buying it and forgetting its even existence and hoping that nothing happens. So that's me being like, don't care enough. Nothing's going to change.
You showed him.
I sure did.
Exit stage left, the Snagapost Chronicles number 5 or 6. That's out tomorrow also. Read that if you really like courtroom dramas. It's really good so far. And that's from the team, the Eisner nominated team of Flintstones, I believe. Who are the writer, at least, Mark Russell. Gary, still getting Green Arrow?
No, not till August.
We are getting Injustice 2, number 25. This is Tom Taylor Daniel. Sam Perry. What's with this cover? Is this the right cover?
That is not the right cover. That's the cover for Bombshells, so Diamond screwed up.
Oh. Well, Supergirl and Blue Beetle share a secret on the moon. And in Gorilla City, King Solivar questions his alliance with Ra's al Ghul, while Raz's own forces begin to fracture and his daughter is about to go rogue. Meanwhile, Batman and Wonder Woman have a showdown. How's this book been? Wait a second.
I thought we were going to say that blanket statement.
Hold on. I got
waiting for this.
I got what's going on. There is no rules. Anybody can die at any second and they'll stay dead. The stakes are as medium rare as they can be. So if you're into that and you want to read about DC characters in a world where everything matters, Injustice 2, that's for you.
Boom. I don't have to say anything anymore.
For the record, Injustice 2's cover is actually where Bombshells United 17 is. Right.
Holy shit. Literally just said it.
No one was listening to you, but they listened to me.
Nightwing number 44. This is Ben Percy and Chris Mooneyham. Oh, Mooneyham. The Bleeding Edge Part 1. What do you think, Garrett? Are you reading Nightwing still?
Yeah, I'm still going to be in Nightwing with Ben Percy.
I think
Percy's jumping on.
What?
Percy's not on this one, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. This is his first
issue of his
run.
Okay.
This Is this when you're back,
I'm
Alex?
2 issues behind because Garrett says bad things about it. So
The Crimson Kabuki one, horrible. This one, the one before it, not bad. It's okay.
What do you think, Ben Percy?
I'm a big Ben Percy fan. I loved his work on Green Arrow, and I'm excited if he's going to stay around for a while. If he's going to be, I feel like he's going to be around for a while with Nightwing. If he's just doing one arc, kind of like Sam Humphries did, then I'm going to be really disappointed because I think someone should have a long-term plan for Nightwing. Otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, I'm excited to see what he's got in store for the next couple months of Nightwing.
Marvel Comics, this is the land that Legacy forgot and got refreshed. They hit at 5 on this. It's on X-Men number 11. This is Charles Soule and Ron Garney. Ron Garney! Xavier versus Proteus. This is a penultimate issue of the high-stakes X-Men story. Alex, how's this going? You have one more issue left, and then this is done. Has this been enjoyable?
Spoilers, 1 issue behind, like always. I actually have enjoyed this book. It's a kind of like what Commanded Challenge was, where an artist is different in every issue, but it's always been written by Charles Soule. It's actually been pretty good. I don't get any of the other X-Men books, so it's kind of nice to get into that mutant range, but I've enjoyed it. It actually is kind of fun to read.
Avengers number 1, this is Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. A new era dawns for Earth's mightiest heroes, courtesy of Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. Thor, Odin's son, Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, the big 3 of the Avengers are reunited at last, and just in time to save the world from total annihilation at the hands of the most powerful enemies yet, the 2,000-foot tall special gods known as the Celestials. Also on this team, who do we have here? We have Doctor Strange, we have Ghost Rider, we have She-Hulk, we have Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. So this is the start of the new Avengers run. Garrett, are you getting this? Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I feel like the last iteration of the Avengers, I think it was Mark Waid, whatever, it didn't feel like it was different enough to keep me interested. This makes me feel like, Jason Aaron's on it, and he likes to do grand storytelling. I mean, we just had a 3-issue Thor arc, basically. 3-year, I mean. So I feel like, and I don't know how long Ed McGuinness is actually going to be able to stay on this book, because, that's not really, I mean, this is Avengers, so he might stay on for a while, but typically on a book that he's on, he doesn't stay very long. But whatever. Jason Aaron, I know, can stay for the long haul. And this makes me feel like, what if this is going to be cool, like Hickman's run, but in its own way, like something very epic and fun to read.
Alex, I know you're getting this too. Is part of the excitement of getting this book, is it stemming off of Infinity Wars, or are you looking forward to this before that even came out?
A little bit of both. I mean, I really do have that Avengers vibe, and I just want to see the Avengers kick some ass from seeing the movie. But two, I just want to get back into Avengers book. I didn't get the Hickman run when it first came out. I did it after the fact, and I haven't read it, so I'm missing out on stuff. I look at this team, not the creative team. I look at the Avenger team. I go, you know what? This team has some good depth. You have the ability to do magic or supernatural things. You have the team that can do this technology-based or past-based or mythical-based. I mean, there's so many ranges that these characters can go to that I am actually super amped, and I trust Jason Aaron on this book.
I concur. I think Jason Aaron is going to do a good job in this book. He's earned his place to be on this. He put out that Avengers, 10,000 BEC or something like that, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm excited to see where he goes with this. Ed McGuinness, I'm kind of hit or miss on. I like them on Superman, Batman, right? He did those, Garrett?
Yeah.
But, I mean, sometimes...
Not for very long again, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes it depends on what he's going to do. But he's a great artist. But his style sometimes I find hard to read. But otherwise...
So I think the last thing he did was Nova, but he's only on it for 6 issues, then he left.
Oh, that's right. Captain America 701, this Mark Waid, Leonardo Romero. Promised Land Part 1. The year is 2314, and the grandson of Steve Rogers lives in the utopian America of which his ancestor dreamed. The legacy of Captain America has been realized, but something sinister lies beneath the surface. Leonardo Romero of Hawkeye joins Mark Waid for this very special look into the tomorrow of Captain America, featuring guest contributions from notable artists past and present. It sounds like it's going to be an issue with more than one story if there's going to be contributions from everybody, but Alex, what do you think? I know you're very critical about it not being about Captain going around the country, finding himself after Civil War. No, Secret Invasion. No, that's not it. What's it called?
Secret Empire.
Secret Empire. But so it sounds like this also is going to take place in the future, just like the last arc. Does that make you excited? Make you hesitant?
I think of it if it's the people carrying the memory of Captain, I'm totally cool with that. My problem that I had with 700 and the issues prior to that was it was Captain getting stuck in this another dimension or a different realm or future that was gone in. That wasn't what I wanted. I really did want the Steve Rogers traveling to America and going, hey, let me get back to my roots. I'm fine with this. And with Leonardo Romero on this book, if he wasn't on it, I would drop it. If it wasn't Chris Samney and it didn't go to Romero, I would be dropping this book. But I am super amped for that art.
Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost, #1, Charles Soule and Matteo Buffagani. This is a book you guys are going to get. Wolverine may be the best there is at what he does, but so are they. Does this look like this is Weapon X, right?
I'm not getting this.
I don't think I was planning on getting it.
No, well, if you're looking forward to, this is 104, this new Hunt for Wolverine, this is the first miniseries coming out, so I'll go ahead and make that up. And you can get on that. I think there's how many miniseries? 4?
4 of them.
So that'd be the first one there. Rogan Gambit, #5, Kelly Thompson, Perry Perez. Garrett, what do you think, Rogan Gambit?
I really enjoyed the first 3 issues. Issue 4, for some reason, I didn't like as much. I felt like, I don't know, like the art style is okay, but I think this, where Hawkeye, the action drawn by Romero in cohesion with the story written by Kelly Thompson, works so well together where I feel like the text and what I'm seeing on the page don't really work well together. And so I'm always just kind of like scratching my head because some of it doesn't really flow very great. So in issue 4, so that's all I'm saying. The last taste I had of this series was not a great taste, but I am excited to see how this conclusion goes because hopefully it'll wrap up the whole storyline and leave it with a nice bow on the top. So
what issue was all the rogues and all the gambits fighting? Was that 3?
4.
That was 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I may have read this issue 4. If that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah, I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I was expecting to. I would agree with issue 1 and 2 being the strongest.
The next book here, Shield by Hickman and Jonathan Hickman and Dustin Weaver. This is a collection of issues 1 through 4 from 2011. Leading up to the final 2 coming out this year. So if you're looking to catch up on that, go ahead and get this. However, let me warn everybody, and actually since you guys are planning on getting this too, let me let you guys know. There is the Shield Volume 1 and Shield Volume 2. This is the first 4 issues of Volume 2. So there are 6 issues of Volume 1 that you have to read before this.
Yeah, that's okay.
So they are different stories, but they're connected. And then the last 2 issues were supposed to come out like 10 years ago, and I've been waiting probably 11 years now, and finally coming out. So if you're looking to catch up with this series, this is going to be all 4 issues for you for $5.99. The last book I just wanted to bring up, I don't think anybody's here getting it, but I just wanted to bring it up. You're Deadpool #1. This is Al Ewing and Salva Aspen. David want a chance to be Deadpool. Now's your chance. This weekly series is just not the most amazing comic book you'll ever read. It's also a role-playing adventure. You decide what choices Deadpool makes. You keep track of your score issue by issue. You roll dice to combat various foes. Travel through Marvel history as Deadpool to meet Hulk in the swinging 60s, to smell Man-Thing in the swampy 70s, to be seen by Daredevil in the hard-boiled 80s, and avoid the many bad endings you could fall into and suffer the consequences. This is $3.99. It's like a choose-your-own adventure. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I do like Al Ewing, but I don't like Deadpool enough to pick this up. But I thought it was a cool concept.
Hey, yeah, I don't know how does that work in a comic book though. I mean, because how many pages can you really change up the adventure?
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be basically a page per choice.
Because I've thought of that before, not before even this concept. I was like, that'd be like Goosebumps. Like they did a choose your own adventure, but I'm like, feel like you don't have enough pages to play with to be able to do that.
Well, you can find out by getting your Deadpool #1, so I'm going to try that out. Boom Studios, this is Go Power Rangers #9. This is Ryan Perrett. Miguel Mercado. This is what part of Shattered Grid?
Yep.
Which part?
This would be part 3.
Part 3? How's it going so far, Garrett?
Shattered Grid has been so good. I don't really count the annual as being part of Shattered Grid. I thought it was. It's more like the different Power Ranger groups leading up to Shattered Grid, so I don't really count that as part of the storyline. But what I've gotten from 25 and 26 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has been some of the best Power Ranger story I've ever read. And so much so that, like, as soon as I read one of those issues, I'm like, okay, I can sit down for an hour and watch some more Power Rangers on Netflix, because I'm like, this is so good. I mean, it gets me in that zone real quick, and it is just so much fun.
Alex, you said you caught up with this recently?
I did.
And what do you think?
I would agree 25 and 26 are really strong. That story is just, I don't even mean it as a joke. There are some good stakes in this book that I hope that this either carries on from there, or I'm hoping 27 for Mighty Morphin really kicks it up another notch, because I'm digging this book.
One book in the Upside Down I wanted to talk about it real quick, just because I've seen a friend of the show, Surge America, talk about it a lot because it came out. I'm not sure. It must have came out independently, but now actually Unimorphic's putting it out. Alien Toilet Monster #1. This is Eric Barnett, Carol Zara, and Eric also on art. It's a new series. I heard him talk about it. He said it's pretty good, so if you want to catch that, it'll be out. Wide release, I guess you would say, instead of before it was coming out by select few, so go ahead and pick that up. Alex, what do you think if you were going to pick one as your choice of the week? Which one would it be?
Ooh, that is a tough question. I'd probably say Death or Glory #1 for the main fact that it's a #1.
Garrett, what do you think?
I'm going with Avengers #1. Like, that movie did really reignite my Marvel flame, so I am all in. Like, make mine Marvel right now. Like, Action Comics 1000 got me there, and then I saw that movie, and I've seen it twice now, and I'm like, okay, Marvel, you got my full undivided attention right now, so I am so excited for a new run of Avengers.
Mine I was going to pick is DC Nation #0 because it's 25 cents, but also I'm interested to see more Brian Michael Bendis Superman and see if I do enjoy it. We got a little snippet of that in the 1000 issue, but it wasn't enough for me really to say yes or no. And also I'm excited to see how Scott Snyder and James Tynion, how their Justice League reads, and see if that's something I'm interested in. So it's going to be good. 25 cents. Like I said, if you know somebody who's interested in comics a little bit, pick up 2 issues, give them one. What is 25 cents? Who cares? And then you can just give them it and be like, hey, here you go. And then maybe they'll get into comics and you'll have somebody to talk comic books with. So, Alex, so people who might not know if they don't live in our region, tonight Thor got crazy. He was trying to kill us and make us not do this forecast, but we told him no, and we got on anyways. Is that going to continue to happen, or how's this weather working out?
It's I have a feeling there's going to be some tears, and by tears I mean some rain coming down. The nicest day is going to be Friday. Tomorrow might be a little cool. Saturday, Sunday, get that raincoat out, get that umbrella out, be ready. You know what I do? I stay at home and I read comic books when it rains, or when my daughter's asleep.
Garrett's is going on week 3 or 4, and I'm going to crack down right now. What are we going to do about these potholes?
Please refer to your nearest city office, and they will take that under advisement.
What about the roads? How are the roads looking?
Roads are looking good. I mean, yes, there might be some rain coming down, but that can't stop you from the mega force of awesome that is coming your way for these comics this week. This is like a perfect week, I feel. It's like it's not a crap ton of comic books, but it's a collection of quality comics that are coming out as opposed to a quantity of okay comics. So I'm really excited for tomorrow, especially this being the week of Free Comic Book Day. But I mean, this is going to be a great week of books. It's just fun celebrating, being a comic book fan, and this is the perfect week for it.
Like Garrett said, Free Comic Book Day is a Saturday, May 5th. So
correct, Cinco de Mayo.
So make sure you go out and find your local comic book shop and show them your appreciation by showing up and get some free comics. And also, I'm sure a lot of them have deals going on, so check with them to see what your local deals are and enjoy comic books on Free Comic Book Day. It is the comic book holiday that we look forward to every year. Alex, I almost seriously, the power went in and out right now. My street light was on and off. This store, he was trying to kill me. And I just want to know one thing before we leave here.
Yeah.
Can we send him after you instead?
You sure can. Tell him just a couple blocks down the street. Come say hey. I'll do Dylan. You son of a bitch. High five him. He'll kill me. He'll be fine.
Or maybe he becomes your friend. And then you two all of a sudden,
bros.
And then he trains you. And then he dies and you look after his legacy. Okay, I'm going to say that's the way it goes. And that's what we're going to write. Let's put that print that we're going to make. That movie comes out June 2nd, 2020. Make sure to look for that in theaters. But until then, I've been Marvin.
I'm Alex, the God of Thunder.
And I'm Garrett, and whatever.
Hey, everyone. Keep reading those books.